What is going on, everybody? We're back on it. My Hero season 7. I'm not sure how many more seasons we should be expecting after this. I've been told it's like kind of in the air, so I would 9 at the most, I would think, which sounds about right. You guys let me know if that seems too far off. But season 7, I guess, what do you want to call it? Anime community seems a little about My Hero at this point. We did a little poll like a day ago. I think we had 100 or so votes, and like 60 to 70% of y'all like don't even care, and it's kind of just like whatever about it. And I get it. I would agree that the last couple seasons have been interesting, have been hit or miss. So I guess I get that to a certain point. But I've been trying to think. Season 1 came out in what, like 2015, 2016? It's in the last 10 years of like all the anime included in there. Some of the My Hero fights, at least for the most part, I don't know if you want to say the story itself, but just from an anime perspective, I would say that My Hero has had some of the most like kind of up there iconic fights across anime in the last 20 years. Now, 20 years, in the last like 10 years. Now, granted, I haven't seen every anime, so maybe I'm putting it too high up there, but it's got probably some of the top 20, top 15. Maybe if you sat down and broke it down, an argument could be made for top 10 fights. Like I'm talking actual fights and the animation with it as a whole. Just trying to think off the top of my head. I mean, you've got, you know, the season 1 with All Might and the Nomu. Is season 2, is that Deku and Todoroki? You've got the Stain stuff mixed in, the muscular stuff mixed in, All Might versus All for One. You've got that mixed up in there. You've got the Deku versus Bakugo fight mixed in there. Everything we had from last season. Granted, even though last season kind of, I feel like it didn't stick the landing, those first 10 to 11 episodes were straight heat for like 10 episodes straight. We were there all talking about it. So I don't want to hype it down too much. So those are just some of the fights that I'm thinking off the top of my head that have happened in the last 10 years. And there's arguments to be made that they're up there with some of like the animes that have been putting out fights over the last 10 years. You want to talk about the Jujutsu season that just passed? Some of the fights in there, I'd put some of the My Hero fights in, like, they're in that same category. Some of the Attack on Titan fights, it's up there. So we kind of did a power ranking of animes towards the end of the year, and I try to just rank the animes on their highs, not their lows, because all animes have their issues, their highs and their lows. So just thinking, like, off of its highs, off of its like peak moments, My Hero honestly is up there with some of the other anime. I'm not gonna lie. Granted, the story may have been a little wonky and the anime's kind of been flopping. We're not gonna sit here and pretend like My Hero has not pumped out some of the most iconic stuff. We're just gonna put it out there. Now, granted, how this season's gonna go, TBD. Last season we had the whole like liberation stuff in the beginning. That was when the first 10 episodes were just like banger after banger after banger after banger. Like, they were just cranking that shit. I was like, okay, My Hero's doing it. We were going after the Doctor, the Liberation Front. We had, you know, Twice die, Hawks lose his wings, which I still have not gotten confirmation on if that's permanent or not. As far as like, will he be Hawks again at peak Hawks 100%? Or is he he's never going to reach that peak again? It seems some people are like, oh, you know, his wings do grow back. And we kind of see them growing back a little bit here, but I've had other people say like, he's never going to be that peak again. Like, where was he? Isn't he like number 2 hero or something like that? Or was a number 2 hero? He's never going to be that again. Like, he'll still be a good hero, probably still one of the better ones, but he's never going to be at that, like, that peak speed, that peak Hawks. He's never going to be that. I think that's the side I'm leaning on, is his wings will grow back, but maybe not to the fullest, or maybe not what they were. So is he still going to be a help? Yes. Is he still going to be what he was? I think the answer to that is no. We had Midnight Hero. We had heroes die, but Midnight died. Twice died. Hawks is never going to be the same again. We had Best Boy Mirio show back up with his power, so that whole Eri storyline is another thing of like, what did they plan to do with that? Is she going to help Aizawa get his leg back? You got all that going into it. We had Best Gina show up. He's never going to be 100% again, but still good to go. Then we had where I think the season fell off a little bit was the whole like dark Deku thing. They lost me with that, I'm not going to lie. We got Hawks' backstory. I don't know how Lady Nagant, whatever her name is, doesn't die. I don't know why they didn't want to pull the trigger on that death. We got the Dabi backstory. And then, you know, fast forward going through all that, you know, Shigaraki is going to be awoken here shortly. We got America #1, USA showing up. And then there were other stuff in the middle. We had the Vestiges and him opening up his powers and meeting the past wielder. So we got all that. It's really like, I feel like it's kind of getting at that point of where like, oh, we're getting to like we're at the climax of it, and the story's like gonna be coming close to an end. I don't know how many episodes we're getting. I think My Hero typically does like 20+ episodes, so we're gonna be doing this probably throughout the entire summer. So yeah, let's go ahead and do it. See what they've got going for us. Is he at the protected UA? I'm assuming. I'm very curious to see, because I like in here I like My Hero. I do, truly. And I'm not gonna let other people, you know, sway if I like it or don't like it. We have no problem saying something's shit, and we have no problem saying something's good. But I'm with a lot of people in the community of like, And I can tell you right now, we're not killing him, sadly. As I'd love him to. I know we're going like the power of friendship. Yeah, I can save that kid. So I'm sure that'll be an issue when we get there. Maybe he dies from All For One, like overusing his body or something crazy like that, but I don't see Deku physically killing him. My opinion. I am curious. It's already actually started to go that way, and they gave every kid. I feel like they gave every kid kind of like their send off. We're probably gonna have to mute this. We'll play it, but we'll mute it. I actually saw the opening and ending trending on Twitter, so maybe it's pretty good. We are kind of going that Naruto Shippuden route of like characters that were about that life, or maybe even stronger than us in the earlier seasons, now get little to no screen time at all and have nothing to serve to the story. And we've kind of gone that way a little bit. Now they kind of gave everybody their, I feel like they gave everybody their like moment last season when they were trying to rescue or like tell Deku to come back with them. We got to see every kid's ability. Like, I feel like that was kind of like the last send off for everybody, my opinion personally, but we'll see. Oh, and Best Boy Overhaul as well was shown at the end of last season. God, he's still the best villain in my opinion. I prefer him over Shigaraki. I would love if that man could get his arms back. He keeps talking about Eri and seeing his boss and stuff. I'm very curious what they decide to do with his. I don't think he'll have a storyline. Like, I don't think he's going to be like the final boss or maybe like help us or anything like that. But I am curious if he gets his hands back in the relationship that they end up having with Eri. And the Eri storyline is very, 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 very interesting. Like, do they just plan to use her? I mean, they're going to use her abilities. But is she just going to be this, like, get out of jail free card? Like, if anybody loses their abilities, she just, like, rewinds them if anybody loses. Because she's better than Recovery Girl. Way better than Recovery Girl. Now, the toll it takes on the body and those type of things. Like, could she rewind Hawks physically before he got his shit burnt off, and him just be fine. Like, it's very, very deep of like what Eri can do for somebody. Like, she can rewind Aizawa back and give him his legs, right? Or give him his leg. Could she rewind Hawks back to give him his like full potential of wings? I don't know. Muscular got so embarrassed. Someone want to help this guy? Awkward. Is this America? It's wild to like, they actually look more American compared to the characters that they show us. But like, they're speaking in Japanese. So it's like, oh, they're American, but they're speaking in Japanese. She's roided out of her mind, looking like Super Saiyan 3 Goku and shit. USA, USA, USA. Just fighter jetted out of her mind. Now, when she says master, she's actually like All Might trained her, or she just like looks up to him. I'm assuming probably he's actually trained with. He's just sitting on that throne with the Nomus. Jesus. What's the plan for your life? I forgot Shigaraki's in his cocoon shit. But not around the rest of the world. Yeah. It's wild that they're putting it on a world scale now. Huh? The birthplace of heroes. Ooh. So she's gonna be that much of a problem, but if there's a chance he steals it, it's worth it. So what's her ability? He says she's the strongest woman. What does that mean as far as like where does she rank? Like where does she rank? What does that mean? Is she the strongest woman but like the 20th strongest hero? Is she, I'm not gonna say rival Prime All Might because nobody does, but like Destro got fucked up. That was so disappointing. He's gonna be looked up to by a lot of, yep. All the heteromorphs that are not human are gonna flock to him. I'm very curious what her power set is. Like, is she just a female All Might? She's just fast, strong, crazy reflexes and just straight up like, you know, punching power. Is that what it is? But like, I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be that. Like, she might be strong and fast, you know. I don't think that's what her base quirk is going to be, because he's over here talking about like it's such a gamble and a risk. Of like her jumping onto the scene, right? Like she could actually fuck up some of the plans, is what he's making it seem like. Oh, she's actually an issue. But I feel like he's got all the speed and strength quirks in his bag that he could need. What is her specific quirk? I feel like she's got a specific quirk if he's talking about like, if I can get my hands on that. And if she's that much of a problem. If she's just walking around punching and kicking shit, like we've got that. Hmm? Who? Oh? Like he's talking to... Oh. I thought he was still cooking. How is Shigaraki out here? What? Is he done? I thought he still had a couple days to go. And she's here. Tell me she doesn't like have this grand entrance, right? Miss Star and Stripe and everything. And gets just completely two-tapped halfway through the first episode of her own. He's gonna EMP those jets out of the air in a minute. I was about to say. Let's see what she can do. The fact that she stood on that the entire flight over there is kind of insane. Evade, evade, evade. Hmm? What does she do, man? I need to see this ability. And Endeavor and Hawks are coming. That's got to be of some help. Well, here we go. Yeah, you are, but you're not. Are you, though? So he's fully cooked. Like he's the preheat is over. The oven's. Does she fly? What's the quirk? Oh, she also has a if I touch you, it's over quirk? I don't... What? This air palm shit. Was she like pulling oxygen out of the air? Oh, here we go, 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 here we go. Break it down for me. After touching something, by calling out its name, she can give it new rules. She just changes the molecular property? Oh my god. That is busted as hell. What? So she can change the properties of some... I gotta go back and read that description again. Holy laser cannon. He's too durable for that. Okay, we didn't actually bring him down. We didn't actually bring him down. Okay, that's new. We didn't see that. But she changed the properties of the lasers. Holy shit. And he's regenning. Is his body already ready to go? Yeah, she can only have one thing going at one time, I feel like. Two rules at once. She puts one rule on herself at all times. Oh, wow. She was saved by an exchange from Japan. So she keeps one of the rules on herself at all time. Which I'm sure is something busted, like I regen or I'm super powerful or, you know, something like that. And then she keeps one in the chamber to use for situations. Is that what it means by the master? Like, she never actually trained against him, but from that moment she dedicated it like that was her master. Yeah, I don't know if they ever actually worked together, have they? I have a feeling she's about to get dusted. Oh. What the fuck is going on? She's that busted? Oh god. That creepy opera music in the background. We gotta talk about that shit. What? So he's still not fully cooked, but he's essentially there. What do we just retreat now? She just said if we move the heart stops. Is somehow his hatred gonna let him flex and bust up out of here? Oh, it has to be specific. Maybe that's not his. Oh, wow. It has to be that specific. Or is he actually just hate flexing out of this? He's not moving. I don't know. There's a lot of specifics with her powers. Like, it seems busted, but it seems also to be very specific in this case if you need somebody's name or something like that. Well, he didn't actually move. That was really busted, though. Like, whoa. The #1 hero in the USA. Any rule. What have you figured out? Let's hear it. Yeah, she could have punched his damn head off. But then something happened. Tomura Shigaraki just dies here. Yeah, she could have said that. Yeah, it's. I need a deeper breakdown. Yeah, that's crazy because if she could give herself power like All Might, like that type of strength, she could have punched his head off and killed him right there when she made contact. It's because... But he's not that anymore. Yeah, that's why it didn't work. He's not even... Yeah. What are the chances? What are the chances that he's not that anymore and it just can't work? Yeah. It's way too specifics. I wonder if she has like a... If she has like a trump card. For her ability. Probably that she's never used, but like, you know, as she says, she always keeps one on her. If she like double uses it, or she is, you know how like we've seen people have been training their quirks up, you know? And they go further beyond. I wonder if she has like just an ultimate card of like she puts something on herself like twice or something like that, and it maybe lets her be All Might, like actual All Might for a second. I don't know. Who knows? True. Holy shit. Good God. But does it have enough juice? Yeah. Oh shit. I mean, that's not gonna be enough. It's not gonna be enough. Oh God. Look at this chick. Oh, look at this perfect Susanoo shit she's got in the middle of the air. My God, honestly, wouldn't be even upset if like the story ended here, right? Jesus. Yo, bro, get off the phone. We're busy. Can Endeavor show up and give us like extra flames? We saw those flames, honestly. If it wasn't for All for One. We probably kill Shigaraki last season, by the way. Oh! Holy sh... Yeah, that had to end. Wow. Wow. I'm not gonna lie to you. That was pretty great. Now again, I feel like My Hero does this, man. They can put out great content. I thought that was great. I don't know how many of you are actually going to be watching this, because it didn't seem like you guys were that interested in watching the new My Hero season to begin with. That was a good episode. I'm not going to lie to you. That was a good episode. I enjoyed it again. And I feel like that's what My Hero does like really well. Fights again, but you know, I mean, a lot of animes live off fights. What are we talking about? Like Jujutsu Kaisen doing the same shit. You know, they get praised all the time, and their shit ain't, you know, it ain't that deep. But like, I feel like that's My Hero at its core right there. New person, narrator breaks down what their quirk is. We see them using their quirk in all these crazy ways. But that is insanity. If y'all, I want to Google her powers, but I already know that's gonna tell me like, is she alive? Is she dead? Does she get her quirk stolen? Yada yada yada. So I'm not even gonna do that. Give me like a good breakdown of her quirk. We can go to it again. Let me see if I can go to the narrator here. All right, let's see what he says here. Go forward just a little bit. Just a little bit. Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? All right, here we go. After touching something by calling out its name, she can give it new rule. How do you even discover that when you're growing up, by the way? Because now we're getting on some, like, this is, honestly, this feels like it's like even beyond quirk level, like in this universe. Like this feels like I compare My Hero to like I compare it to like X-Men, mutants, you know, that type of power set, that type of world. This description and like what she's able to do reminds me of like the Hunter x Hunter world, like Nen. Like that's what she's taking her Nen to do. Like it's that deep of an ability. Seems crazy as hell, by the way. After touching something by calling out its name, she can give it new rules. Okay? And we saw that with her touching the air and, you know, changing the property, the lasers and all that. In this case, she touched the air. And what's wild is like it can be any it could just be a vacuum of air, a vacuum of space. Now, granted, I'm sure she that's a question though. Could she train herself up to be strong enough? Because we see like Deku has been training the hell like out of his body, out of those quirks, learning it, taking him to like new levels. We see what Bakugo has been able to do with his ability, and Todoroki working on his heat and his ice. We've seen Invisibility Girl that's reflecting light. So who even knows if she's actually invisible? I don't know, that's all. But we've seen that like people have been taking their quirks like up a level. We've been like, we got introduced to the kids with their quirks at like level 2, level 3. They've cranked those, you know, Iida, what he's been able to do with his speed and those type of things. So we've seen that. I would really wonder, now there's no way she could do it worldwide. That would seem too busted. But could she maybe do it for an entire state or country? Imagine if she walked outside, right? Trained herself up enough, right? Touched the air and just said something along the lines of like, remove oxygen from the entire planet, or from this entire state, or from this entire country. Could she do that? I feel like there's no reason she couldn't if she trained herself up enough. I don't know. It seems very busted though. And gave it a new rule that it would cease to exist. So she didn't go that specific of like take the oxygen out of the air. But what if she just walked outside like in the United States and was like, I want the air to no longer exist in this country. Could she just zap the air from like that wide range? Now that would be kind of busted if she could just walk outside in the middle of Atlanta, Georgia. It was like, I want the air to stop existing in the entire world, and just sucks out the, probably a little busted, probably like Omega level mutant type shit. But it's, man. And she has to call it out by name and touch it. Yeah, that is, it's pretty crazy. That, yeah. And then the explanation of kind of like what he's talking about, that's kind of where I'm confused on like the limits to it and what he was trying to break down here, because he didn't even seem confident in his explanation. But she wasn't able to, yeah, this one right here. If she wanted to, there's a limit to how much power you can add to a living physical body. Yeah, because if she wanted to, but again, it's like, how do you grade that? If she said something like, I want to give this body the power of All Might, how does her quirk, like out there in the universe, in the cosmos, know what that means to give the human body the power of All Might? Like, what does that mean? I don't think she can do anything like that that doesn't have like, I guess, a defined thought of it, maybe? I don't know. There's a limit to how much power she can add to a living body. There's, yeah, that's pretty much, and there's no, yeah, she should have been able to take his head off if she had that, you know, if she had that type of power. Now we get into this whole thing of like, but I'm not really Tomura Shigaraki, so it didn't work on me. That's a, I don't like that, but I get why it's not working. Yeah, so this is kind of like, whatever she touches specified to block or die. She can impose a rule on something she's touched, or she's weaker. Even so, she'll be able to create a vacuum and hold lasers with the rules. Means nothing. Yeah, so it looks like maybe it's a little more, it's stronger on inanimate objects, non-living beating things. I don't know. You guys will break that down for me. We'll kind of see how that goes. Just give me an explanation on her powers. the limits to it, if there's limits to it, because again, we've seen people train the fluff out of their quirks. Are there limits to any quirks these days? If you train them up enough, I don't know. But this whole perfect Susano shit she's got going on is insanity, actually. And I'm just thinking off the top of my head. Now, there might be other quirks and things that we haven't seen. That's a hell of a quirk. And I'm sure if we sat here and broke it down, we probably could think of it. But I'm just thinking off the top of my head. If only one of them can exist, because like Prime All Might can exist, and you know what Midoriya has become. But like, I don't. Could current Midoriya even deal with her right now? Again, the ultimate equalizer in a lot of these fights in any show is like speed. So could he get on her quick enough before she like touches something and says it? That'd be the only, because the only top of my head is like maybe peak Midoriya and maybe peak All Might are putting her down. Like, how is somebody dealing with that? How? Because even if you have the ice or the fire or whatever, like you have a tangible ability that is supposed to like reach and touch her, she just touches it and changes the property of it. I don't know. It seems busted. Maybe I'm giving her too much praise, but like she's got to be in like a top 5, dead or alive, right? I don't know. But again, that's a solid episode. Say what you want. Say what you want. Solid episode. So go ahead and leave it there. Appreciate it, everybody. Like, share, subscribe, and as always,